Hey guys, I'm back with another video and I hope you guys like this video. This video is going to be about women, men, children, all of the above. I hope you guys enjoy this video and let's get started. Okay, so, wow, how do I start this video? This is a very interesting topic because men and women are two different things, but all the same at the same time. Men have jobs to do, women have jobs to do, but for some weird reason, women want to change the dynamic. The dynamic is that women take care of the kids, they're like the housewife, they're what we're supposed to be. And I get that. We are changing, we're evolving, we're evolving, we're doing what we have to. But evolving into something that the real women, like actual women, would never want. Like, why are women having a problem getting things like knowledge in their head, but the women back in the day had nothing to worry about with getting knowledge. Like, the women back in the day wanted to be doctors and they wanted to be everything they couldn't be. And they became that. But I don't understand why we have to go so far. Like, I get men used to treat us like shit. But they did protect us. Because if they did, we would all be extinct. And yes, men do have the tendency of trying to, it depends on the type of person you are. Because if you are a person who has a tendency of not believing people or believing in something that someone else doesn't believe in. Yes, there's like religions, there's petitions, there's a whole bunch of other shit that you can believe in. And like, a lot of old people, you can believe, quote unquote, in like colleges and schools and shit like that. But the people nowadays that are like growing up in this era understand more than the people that were growing up in like the 1900s. Like, obviously, if you were born in like from the 2000 to like now, basically, you could understand more what's happening in the world than the more you're in the 2000s, the more you'll understand about it. Because yes, older people are not going to really understand the technology part of it, or the YouTube part of it, or the TikTok part of it, or like TikTok is everything to kids and adults, but mostly to teenagers and like mid adults, because TikTok is showing the people what really happens in the world. Like, we're not being fucked with by the other states, we're being fucked with by our own society. Because the society is the reason why we are all learning things that we never would have learned before. Women would never be feminists if TikTok wasn't a thing. Because that word wouldn't be as popular as it is today. Because TikTok made feminists popular. But TikTok didn't mean it to be like what it is today. And what I mean by that is that feminist became a word to describe someone to a man. Why do you need to describe it to a man? I feel like feminist has nothing to do with a man. Like, women will have like an argument with their boyfriend and they'll be like, I'm a feminist, so you can't control me. That's confusing. Like, how does that have anything to do with a feminist. Like, I feel like a guy, like, I get the guy's perspective, because if I heard that from a woman, I'd literally look at them and be like, you're dumb. You're dumb, because you shouldn't be thinking in your head that feminist has something to do with a man. A feminist is somebody that looks after their kind. Women, you don't start judging men. Like, I hate when women be like, men judge us so much, and that they call us whores and hoes and all of this shit, and then y'all talk about the men in the same damn way. Like, yes, both genders are in the wrong, but what is so confusing is that we're not a gender. It's not our bodies that define us, it's our soul. And most of the human race is horrible people. And I get why they're getting pissed off at the men, and their men are getting pissed off at them. It's because they're getting pissed off at themselves. They don't know what themselves is. If you asked a random stranger on the street, I said this in my last video, if you asked a random stranger on the street if they're okay, they might say yes. But in their head, they're not okay. They are nowhere near okay. Because they have no idea who they are, but they don't know that they're not okay because they don't know that they're not them. They can't really think about it because people can't really think about something they didn't even know existed. If you try to imagine, let's play this game. If you try to imagine a red car in your head, can you? Most people are going to say yes, and they're going to imagine that red car. But if you can imagine that red car in your head, can you imagine it being in front of you? That beautiful, let's just say it's a Lamborghini. That beautiful red Lamborghini, can you imagine that car right in front of you? If you cannot imagine that car right in front of you, then that's not your thing. Cars shouldn't be your thing. You should be. If you can imagine the real you, like the actual real you standing in front of you telling you, you need to get the fuck up and you need to get the fuck to work, then what really went wrong in your life? Like, I get it. All of us have fucked up lives in some way. But that doesn't mean we all shouldn't be working hard. That doesn't mean all of us shouldn't be working as hard as the people that have multi-billionaires should work harder than anybody. You don't need to work that hard to become you. You need to work hard enough that you are you. You need to work hard enough that you look in the mirror and you don't say, why am I so disappointed in myself? Why am I not proud of me? When you hear a compliment, what do you think? What is your first thought? If your first thought is, do I feel that? Then you're in the right. But if the first thought is you say, wow, they like me, that's not okay. I know that you're like, I want people to like me. I want people to like me. I want people to like me because I don't like me. That I know what you're thinking because I thought the same thing. Until I finally realized, what do they have to do with me? Their life is probably even more fucked up than mine, and I want to be like them. Why? Why do I want to be like them? Because I don't want to know who I am. I thought in my head, whoever I really am isn't enough. Because it's not enough now, so why would it be enough then? And then I realized, I'm enough when I say I'm enough. I'm enough when my soul tells me I'm enough. Which is never. You are never going to be enough. Because there's always more you could do. There's always more that you can feel. There's always more than you can see. There's always more than you can do for you. You don't always need to have everybody else's back. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish. Sometimes it's okay to look at yourself in the mirror and say, why do I do the things that I do? Why do I tell myself that I'm not enough? Why? And once you answer that question, literally the day you answer that question, you'll know why exactly you did it. Why exactly you went through hell and back to be the you that you are now. But always know that you can always get better. No matter how hard you try to become you, you can always try harder. There is never an ending. There's never an ending. Not even when you're dead. When you're dead, you don't get an ending. People in their head think they go to heaven. They think that that's the end. That's I'm stopped here. This is the end. Until you realize that nothing is the end. The only reason we are on planet Earth is because our souls are getting ready for the beginning, not for the end. We're just getting started. We're not even there. When people say that they've done it, that I don't need to do anymore. When people say that, you know what I think? I think, wow, you're lame. Because you can always get better. There is no ending to any of this. There is no stopping. Because if you stop, yeah, that is the end for you. But when the people that do not stop working hard, trying, succeeding, anything, if people keep going, they're going to realize that this is not anywhere near the end. This is just starting. When we die, we're going to a place that is way harder than here. But what's after that? And after that, and after that, and after that, and after that. The universe is endless. There is nothing that stops time. Nothing that is time. Time isn't real. It's just a figure of speech that a human created. But what is real time? Time doesn't really exist. You could go from one place to another in 2 seconds. If you really, really think about it, what is 100 years to an alien? Yeah, people might think I'm crazy for saying something like this, but what is 100 years to an alien? Is it 50? Is it 5? Is it 1? Because if you go into space and you go to a whole different planet, not even just if you go into space, if you go to the whole around the country, like around the entire world, and you stay in that place, time is completely different there. It's dark when it's day here. It's day there when it's dark here. And that makes you realize time can't be real. Because if it was, why don't we all have the same time? Why is things different? Why like, it's scientifically proven that it's because of the sun and blah, 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 and because of the world orbiting. But if you really want to be technical, the world orbits slow. That means the time is weirder up there. And that makes you think, why would I stay this me that I am now for the rest of my human life? Why would I not want to get better? That's what you should be asking yourself. You shouldn't be asking yourself what looks good on me, or what is going on with my hair, or what's going on with my skin. Or if you're you, you'll be as healthy as ever. Because your soul will be happy, which will make you the most happy you could ever be. I've definitely grown a lot more than I thought I would in the last, 5 years. When I was 6, I started making YouTube videos. And I just did it out of fun because I didn't know really I could change lives on here. I didn't know I could literally be the representation of children and teens these days for them. I didn't know that I could work this hard to become the version of me that I never thought I could be. The version of me that nobody thought I could be. The only person that literally knew me is my father. Like, actually knew me is my dad. And I finally realized I can't help anybody else. It's not my responsibility to. It's my responsibility to help me. To make sure I'm powerful enough to go through what I have to go through. To make sure I'm powerful enough for when I die, I'm not going to hell, as people will call it. Because no, I'm not an angel, I'm not a saint. But who really is? Even Christians do really dumb shit. Like, why is it so that Christians are so, like, anti-sex or anti-whatever the fuck? When most pastors are the ones that are rapists. Like, that's what I mean by religion is literally nothing. It's literally nothing. Because if a pastor, the one that believes in God, the one that tells y'all to do all this shit, no sex till marriage, all that shit, is a rapist, then maybe you shouldn't be believing in something that you don't even know is true. Like, that's what I mean by, like, feminist, is because you don't even know what feminist means and you're saying it because that's what you heard. You're being something that you've seen because you don't know what else to be. Because no one ever taught you. But you can't be taught to be you. You have to teach yourself. You can be taught, but it has to be by you. No one knows you unless you know you. And unless you show you. Nobody's gonna know who you really are until you let them. Until you let them in, they're never gonna know. And sometimes it's better to let people out. Because the real you need to ask yourself, in the friends that you have, would you be friends with them if you knew you? Would you be friends with them? Would you be able to communicate with them the way you communicate with them now if you were really you? And if you say no, that means they're not your friends. They're people that you think are your friends because you don't know who you are. They're people that you're looking up to because you don't know what to look up to. And I'm not saying you should look up to really anyone. I feel like you should look up to yourself. Because when you know, like I was saying in the beginning of this video, if you can imagine a red car, let's scratch the car. If you can imagine the older you, and that you becoming successful, amazing, the real you, and you can become that, then you've done what you've had to do on earth. Because God isn't really telling you what to do. He's not, your life isn't obligated by God's choices. God's giving you the choice to go left or right. You're the one who has to choose the choice. What path does you want to, he gives you a choice. But you need to pick that choice. He's giving you a path. The path that you can go on that gives you to your life, the real life that you're supposed to live, or the path that is so much easier, but it's harder on your soul. Do you want to live a lavish life that has great opportunities, but it's really hard to get there? Or do you want to live a sad, miserable life, but it's so easy to get there? If you can answer that question honestly, you'll find out why you do things. You'll find out why you do what you do, why you're who you are. You'll find out that once you figure out who you are, you're not going to need anybody else. because you don't need anybody in the beginning. Because the only person you are looking for, the only person that you are looking for that you need is you. But you can't find it anywhere else because it's in you. And you don't want to believe it. Because if you believe it, then you know that you're not you. I love you guys. And I know this is like a very, very, very weird conversation. It's been going all over the place. But I hope you guys loved this video. I loved it talking to y'all, and I love making videos for y'all. I really hope you have a good day, and peace.